During the Great Crusade, the Thousand Sons refined their ability to refine machines with sorcery. They needed servants unaffected by the flesh change, and crafted them in the image of guardian spirits known from Prospero. Sekhetar Robots are often employed by their sorcerer's masters as sentinels to guard sites of power or to stalk unwary interlopers. Inscribed with spells of illusion and obfuscation, Sekhetar Robots can be hidden, awaiting the moment to activate and turn their arcane weapons on the foe. They stand guard for centuries without ever raising any alarm for current occupants of the site, to then suddenly be raised from their mechanical slumber by secret hexagrammatic commands. Hidden indeed, given how long we know the Thousand Sons as a faction by now, and only emerging recently on the tabletop and now on your smartphone. Such an automaton is this thing that it doesn't even have a name. I think that's a first for a hero. Let me know in the comments how you would name it. No name, tall slender robot, domed face, completely unrelated. But did you like the Ironkin Steeljack? Well, now you can have him as a real boy. The Sekhetar robot will become available in its hero release event starting from the 9th of August. It's an uncommon character, so will be easily available for all players. Should you have problems unlocking hero release characters, you can watch my video on how they work here. The Sekhetar robot is a curious thing. It looks a bit like a twisted version of the Eldari Wraiths to me. A tall, slender figure, armored in bone-colored blades, but adorned with the telltale signs of the Thousand Sons. Blue and yellow stripes, scarabs, eyes and bird skulls. Those claws look wickedly sharp, and the flamer a bit uncomfortable to hold. Okay, well, it's a robot, what does it care? What does it care about the loincloth either? The psychers maintaining this thing must have an aesthetic sense. Let's better go over its stats before I go crazy thinking about sentient trickery. With move 3, the robot is faster than you would anticipate, striding across the battlefields with long metal pinions. That combined with its range of 3 makes it quite easy to point it at every target you want. Should you be unable to do so, the Overwatch trait makes sure that it can attack the target coming into the impressive range. A sentinel. Fitting. Conversely, those robots are so good at hiding themselves in plain sight that it even has infiltrate and doesn't trigger enemy overwatch and camouflage, having enemies score fewer hits with ranged attacks against it. This could be pretty useful for missions from Chaos characters asking you to kill overwatching characters, making the old trick of Akimatos summoning intelligently a thing of the past. Hiding this robot in tall grass will increase its longevity against ranged attacks significantly. Most interesting though, he is a mechanical unit in an alliance without a single mechanic. You will never be able to heal him in campaigns, and outside have to rely on other factions. I will also spoil you and say that he won't be a contender for the mechanical team, as he can't summon or attack with multiple attacks a turn regularly. Health-wise, he's in line with Space Marines like Titus and Mephiston, a good chunk above average. His armor is similarly in line with the likes of Incisors or Toriad. Actually, both defenses are exactly the same as Tirith's. Not exactly bulky, but not made out of paper either. With its passive, it will instead add a good amount of armor to surrounding Chaos fighters, and additionally add a block chance and extra block value to all surrounding Psykers. This might be a good anchor unit for the Thousand Sons, most of them which are both. The Weaver of Fate's trait shared with the other Thousand Sons lets it always deal the higher damage value when 3 or more enemies have taken psychic damage that round, so the pairing with Psykers gets even more prevalent. When the robot is adjacent to Psyker at the end of the turn, it will start overwatching, even if it already attacked, similar to the Wotan Steeljack Amuk can summon. The robot itself doesn't have a block chance, only having a defense equipment, as well as a crit equipment and booster. That brings us to attack. The melee attack is 2 hits of power. That's nothing to write home about against low armor, close to Certus or Rodbone. Against high armor, power gets a bit better than average, almost matching Rodbone again. The shooting attack is way more interesting though, as the heavy round attack has a high pierce. Even against no armor, it starts off above average, a bit over Certus and Folk. Against high armor, the 7th best character, between Vitruvius and Eltron. The Sekhetar Robot of course also has an active ability, which is on the more offensive side. Compared to its normal range 3, this might only have range 2 and deals a good amount more damage than a normal attack. And to add to that, for each psychic attack your friendly units have performed that turn, you get an additional hit, up to 9, so imagine those crafts a bit over double the height. That would be excessive damage, so why is it good? If it defeats an enemy, leftover hits go to an adjacent enemy to the target, a bit like with Immospec, which makes this quite a formidable attack once per game. Okay, so is it good actually? Most of its stats aren't that impressive. The only thing really sticking out is its active and the potential to attack twice a round, for which it needs a Psyker. We don't need another character for Chaos campaigns, so there the robot is quite unimpressive. In Psyker heavy teams in Tournament Arena, and especially combined with its fellow Thousand Suns, I can see it being a good anchor there. For guild raids, as a mechanical the attacks are too few, and it doesn't summon. For Guild War, despite the AI usually not being good with placement, as a range 3 Overwatch unit I think the robot has some uses, but it is confused whether it wants to be paired with mechanics or psychers. For long modes, the lack of healing in survival robs it of its significance, but in legendary events it could use its okay bulk in combination with a mechanic from either other faction. Once per battle it can defeat multiple enemies, which is okay. What it brings to the table though is a smattering of quite rare traits for track requirements. 2 hits are okay, but the weapon's heavy round characteristic makes that requirement possible without Xenos, and without the Imperium there's only 6 characters including it. Power without the Imperium is also rarer than you should think. Infiltrate without Xenos equally becomes possible with the robot, and Overwatch, Weaver of Fate and Flames are still decently rare. Mechanical isn't as rare, but the robot might find its use in a mechanical track without Xenos, being the only Chaos character in that category. Yeah, it's the only mechanical Chaos character, and it has its uses in legendary events. There are those characters that have traits that aren't rare, but allow you to take them. And there are those that have a lot of traits and can become important, but you don't necessarily want to take them for their gameplay. This is one of the latter. Might be useful because it combines a lot, but not because it's good in any of those modes. If you want to invest in the automaton, I think both the active and passive do vastly different things, and it will depend on what you need it for. The passive mostly hinges on having Chaos and especially Psychers around, which the machine just doesn't combine with a lot in legendary events. While the active might still do decent damage without them, so I'd rather invest in it rather than the passive. What I feel is really funny is how close this robot is to the Ironkin really. Similar health, less armor but defensive traits, both Overwatch, both can Overwatch and attack if standing next to the right target, both have similar attack stats, with the robot having more pierce and pulling ahead against high armor. The difference is you get to control the Sekhetar Robot and he has a good active, and its passive helps Psychers around, whilst the Steeljack gets a character accompanying it that buffs offenses instead. That's my thoughts so far. Let me know what you think of it. Do you love the design? What roles do you see it fit? Write it down into the comments below. Before we get to the Mythic content, please subscribe to my channel if you liked the video. A like and hype, as well as a comment, also tremendously help my small channel getting noticed, which means a lot to me. Should you want to support me in game, use my referral code BAD60edu for 100 Blackstone for you and various rewards for me depending on milestones you reach after using it. Thank you for your consideration. While writing this, the robot can't equip any relics, so we'll continue on to the Mythic missions. Mission 1 needs us to defeat 3 overwatching enemies with the robot in one turn. This is a case of needing to find 3 clustered las cannons, sneaking up on them, turn 1 and trying to kill as many as we can with the active. Their battle fatigue aiding us should the hits not do enough. Mission 2 needs 15,000 damage done while standing on a fire hex. This can be easily set up with Sekhetar, who can burn any hex on the field including your own. For maximum effect, the active is probably your best bet, especially with Weaver of Fates active and a bunch of extra hits. That should work well against a weak guild raid boss, or trying to kill multiple enemies in arena with the leftover hits jumping to the next enemy. Mission 3 just needs 99 enemies overkilled, which should be easy enough with campaign access. Why 99? It's twice the holy number of Tzeentch. Cute detail. Mission 4 is quite easy, needing you to defeat 9 enemies with the robot in one turn. Find as open a map as possible with boxcasters, let them multiply until they fully surround you, to then use your active. That could kill 4 enemies with the hope of 5 fleeing you'll be golden. Better take some cyclists to the fight too, so they can help you by unleashing their powers in this turn. With enough enemies hit by them, you get more hits, and this should go over quite easily. Lastly, Mission 5 needs damage done with all types of damage. I predict that the 90,000 power damage will be the hardest to do and take the longest, but it will go over eventually. Take him in arena, take some buffers, and play your normal matches. Thank you for sticking with me till the end of the video. Now go and get this infernal war machine for yourself. It is free after all. I appreciate your time and hope you had fun watching this. Thank you again and have a great day.